Hey everyone, it's the Angry Honey Badger, and today we are looking at another tips for LoLing. Today we are going to talk a little bit about the differences between camera lock and camera unlock. There's kind of a lot to do with this, and kind of a lot of weird things that people think about between the differences. There's some disadvantages and some advantages to both of them in some ways. We're going to go over these a little bit right now. I'm going to give you my interpretation on the differences and how I think they can affect you and what they mean to me. So, what we're going to do is, this is a bot game. There's only one bot in this game. We're just going to demonstrate some simple stuff. Right now, as you can see me playing the game, I am in unlocked. I'm clicking around. You can see my mouse. You can see me clicking. I move around a lot in lane. This is typically to avoid the enemy champions or to always be on the move. If you stand dirt still in standard attack like this, you're probably going to get hit with abilities. Probably not the smartest thing to do. Now, while I'm in unlocked mode, you can simply get back over to your character by just simply holding or pressing the space bar. So if she's over here and I want to focus up on Lux, just click the space bar. If I hold it down, I can continue holding it down, and I do continue to stay camera lock on me. As you do or do not know, camera lock is down here in the bottom on the mini-map. You can lock it like that, and now we're locked in for good. Thumb isn't on the space bar. This is actually starting to give me a headache already because I am not used to it anymore. Camera lock is good for people who are newer to the game. You don't have to click all over the screen. You easily know where you are all the time. But we're going to go over some of the problems that you're going to have with this later on in the game and some of the issues you might run into. And that's one reason why I am playing Lux right now. She's a champion along with others that you're going to have issues with. Now, obviously right now I'm just last hitting and not even leveling up my abilities because, like I said, this is a bot game. Nothing crazy important going on. But we're just going to talk about all types of crazy stuff. So, we're just gonna let's head bot. Let's just head bot. All right, so we're locked in right now. The okay thing about this is, while heading through lanes on camera lock, is if anybody comes running up to you, you're obviously gonna be okay. You're gonna see it coming. Now, when you're first getting used to camera lock and you're running the bot lane like this and you don't see yourself, you might start taking damage from somebody in the jungle if you're not paying attention to the minimap. Now, obviously, apparently I'm eating attacks from Silverbot. Get out of here. All right, so while that's happening, those are some things that can happen to you. So just some little things that you're going to need to deal with while that's happening. I just unlocked because I can't stand camera locked anymore. So a few things about camera locked in this situation right now. Right here is how you'd normally look if you're locked in. I don't need to see all of this area behind me. This is unimportant, unless I'm going to get ganked, which you're probably not going to at this moment from behind that bush. But nonetheless, 95% of the time, you don't need to see anything back here. Now, when you're playing in lane and you're not locked into your camera, you can keep your carry or your character down here. You can see a lot of this a lot easier if you're locked in. You're not seeing any of this bush up here, and you're not seeing if anybody's trying to sneak into the back of this bush. You'll miss people coming into lane because you might have just enough vision, just depending on where your minions are and what they're giving you for vision. But nonetheless, like I said, if you're down over here farming, you're not going to see anybody over here if they come out for a gank. You have a little good vision on this, but nonetheless, we're not have to worry about this as much, because even if you're over here like this, you should see some of that on your mini-map, and that should stick out anyways. Plus, we still have some vision over here as well. So those are some advantages to being unlocked camera. You don't need all this space down here. You can see what's going on up here a lot better, because this is what you should be paying attention to while you're down here in lane. Now, the same thing does happen while we are in mid lane as well. There's kind of a few things you need to look out for. Typically, while we're in mid lane, I'm just going to hide Lux back here for a second. We'll hang out over there. Now, while in mid lane, if you are camera locked, let's pretend Lux is right here in the middle. This is okay. But the only issue right now is, if we're getting ganked from down here, lower in these bushes, can't see that too well. So, if you're here and you want to just kind of move down, you can move around a lot easier. Now, a few people do not like the free roaming camera for a couple other issues, such as you have to move around the screen and ping off the sides pretty quick, and it does get annoying, and you might not like that. I run with a full maxed out movement on my mouse, which allows me to do this pretty quick. I can jump around the screen and you're probably getting dizzy. Doesn't bother me because I'm used to it. I also click around a lot. You can also hold down too if you want to move your character around and not click so much. In this way it's quieter, and nonetheless you don't have to worry about it, but then obviously you have to then focus the minions when you need to do that. So, these are a few things that I like to point out to people when they're trying to decide between camera lock and camera unlock. Oh, I missed. How sad. But these are just a few little things. So, like right now, you can see I'm positioning myself down here, and I'm kind of keeping all the action up here in this side of the screen. Once again, if we go to camera locked and I'm moving back in those spots, if you want to get up there to see it, you got to move your character closer in, which can become dangerous because, speak of the devil, then the bot goes for me because I'm closer to her. So you can kind of hang back a little bit if you don't need to. So just, it's a positioning thing most of the time. It's something you have to be safe with. Now, one other thing that becomes very important with certain champions you become, or that you start to play in League of Legends, get out of here. That was another bad miss. Apparently I'm not paying attention. Anyways, another thing you have to pay attention to when you're deciphering between camera lock and unlock is things like this. We're going to lock in right now. Okay, we're locked in with Lux. And let's say I have their blue buff warded right now, and I'm Lux with my ultimate that goes across the map, and I need to then aim at them. What do you do to hit them? Or let's say I want to hit Sivir from back here because she's low on health. This is a really, really crappy way to aim because you can't see. This is the same thing with a Draven ult or Ezreal ults. Let's say you want to ult somebody up here. Now you could attempt to click on your map and hold down and you can do this, but this is just annoying. You're going to ping straight back to your champion. So, like, if I want to hit Sivir with my ult, this is kind of a random guess with my ult. If we're unlocked, well, I'm going to miss because she's moving side to side, but nonetheless, you can see how you can land your shots easier. Same thing with this even. This is a long enough shot that, you know, it's going to be easier to land and easier to move your abilities, and you can get back out and still see her the whole time because I'm not needing to move around. If I had this all locked in and I was doing this, let's try it again in just a second after these come off cooldown. Hopefully we can... And we try to land this. It's just a little bit more awkward and you have to move back, and now I don't know where her health's at, and if I wanted to then alter now, you know, you gotta unlock, basically. So with some of these champions, with some of these longer ults, unlocked is way more helpful. And like I'm saying, there's just a lot more you can see on positioning in the map, which becomes a lot easier for you. I haven't had to move the screen right now, and I can move my character freely. And like I said, if you're ever confused at where you're at, a simple touch of the spacebar will move you back into position correctly, and you'll be able to see your character. Those are some of the biggest differences that come down to playing camera lock and camera unlock. So if you have any of those concerns, try it out. It's not easy to get used to at first, but in the long run, I promise you it will benefit you. I know some people claim they only play camera lock. It is a good way of really keeping track of your character, but in the long run, you need to see what's going on outside of team fights. You'll miss ganks coming in, unless your minimap is this big. But nonetheless, you know, that's not really an important thing to do late on. So, let's say she was going back again, you can just ult. Like, how would you do this camera lock? You just, in theory, you can't at all. Same thing with Draven ult, Ez ult, this ult. It's just easier to look around the map quick, too. You can just ping back with your space bar. Somebody's taking dragon, just do a little bit of that. You can bust your ult up, see, and you can then ult if you need to, without having to be stuck on your character. So, you become a lot more aware without being camera locked. And it's just going to overall benefit you in the long run when it comes to playing League of Legends. That's kind of my take on the situation when it comes to camera locked and unlocked. I played locked camera for, I don't even know, a little bit while I was learning League of Legends. I used to play camera locked and was pretty bad at using my keys too at the beginning too, just really effectively using my keys. But once again, once you get this all taken care of, it's not hard. Apparently I'm casting scales. But yeah, it's just a lot easier to use stuff like this when you're unlocked, because you can do stuff like that, and then you can ping back to your character. So, those are some of the things I would suggest when playing the difference. Some people have asked, hopefully this video helps you a little bit distinguishing what you should be trying to do with your character and what you should be trying. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Like I said, hopefully this explains it a little bit better. Watch some of my videos where hopefully in the future we're going to be doing some live recordings of League of Legends. So you'll actually get to see me clicking around and doing all this random nonsense and just kind of acting like I'm about to cast stuff and all of that fun stuff. So, comments down below if you have questions. But other than that, guys, give it a try if you're not used to it. And I'll just see all of you in the next video.